How's it going, everyone? It is me, Noah, with Stateside here. The January transfer window has opened up in the beginning of this week, and I'm going to take a look at the signing of every Premier League club that they need to make by the end of this month to hit their goals for this season. For example, I'm making this list based on the assumption that there will be no departures for any team, of course, which, for example, Emiliano Martinez is likely to head out the door of Aston Villa, but I did not make the assumption that he was leaving when I made this list. But let's go ahead and let's get right into it. Starting off with Arsenal, Mykhailo Mudryk. Mykhailo Mudryk has been the Gunners' main target coming into the January window, and the desire has been shared by the player as well. This deal looks like it'll be done by the end of the week. Arsenal have already had a bid amounting to $67.8 million rejected by the Ukrainian Giants. However, will likely happen as Shakhtar are going to be pressured by both player and club to make the sale. With 18 goal involvements in 18 matches this season, the player might be looking to force his own move. Things don't change at the end of the window. Aston Villa, Pau Torres. Despite signing Diego Carlos, Aston Villa have been forced to continue to start Tyrone Mings and Eric Konsa in the defense due to the injury of Carlos. This has led Villa allowing 26 goals so far this season. Neither have proven to be the quality that Aston Villa need. Pau Torres has played under Unai Emery for a few seasons and has been a mainstay in Villarreal's defense. Torres is a Europa League winner and Champions League semi-finalist under Emery and would improve the Aston Villa defense immensely. Bournemouth, Antonio Semenyo. A player that has shown excellent promise in the Championship is unsurprisingly attracting attention from serial yo-yo club Bournemouth. This will be locked in pretty soon as the Cherries look to stay up this season despite being tight in the relegation scrap. Brentford, Victor Gyökeres. I was really going to suggest a winger, but after the signing of Kevin Shade, I believe his name is Kevin, and the injury of Ivan Toney, it only makes sense to go for a striker. As everyone knows, Ivan Toney is Brentford's starting striker, so they need to be smart with who they bring in. A player who can compete and eventually take Toney's place, but will not be upset sitting on the bench for a year or two. Already having 12 goals for a lackluster Coventry squad, this makes this deal an easy target for Brentford. Brighton, Azzedine Ounahi. Obviously, I said that I wouldn't be looking at departures, but Brighton have a pretty solid squad, and they're really doing well this season. I could see them losing a midfielder come summer, so I say go ahead and prepare for that now and sign Azzedine Ounahi. The Marcan International paired very well with Amrabat over the World Cup window, and with Moise Caicedo or Alexis McAllister likely heading out the door, it is imperative that they sign Azzedine Ounahi this window. Chelsea, João Felix. Todd Boehly needs to get a creative spark in this Chelsea team. I called this, but this video is coming out probably Wednesday. I made this call a week ago when you see this video. I made this list, and I've had problems getting the video recorded and everything. I've had other obligations, but I'm finally here making this, and it seems the João Felix to Chelsea has officially happened. The Blues have only scored 20 goals this season, and it is not the fault of the forwards. Chelsea ranks 14th in the Premier League with just 27 chances created, meaning they need that spark in the 10 position. And out of favor, João Felix will come in hungry as ever and is exactly the man for the job. I could see, this being a controversial pick. Obviously, it's already stirred controversy, him being a 9 or a 10 for Chelsea. I think he can do either job. Same with Havertz. You could have them overlapping, one of them dropping in. You could play them almost like a two-striker setup. Obviously, you would need one to come deep at times and one to stay forward, so on and so forth. But I definitely think this is a move that will benefit Chelsea. Crystal Palace, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was arguably one of the best defensive right-backs in the world when he made his move to Old Trafford. Since then, he has struggled playing a team with control of the game, used to being heavily defensive lineup of Crystal Palace. Now that he's playing in a team that has the ball, he hasn't performed to the standard. Obviously, he may stay with his recent show of games, but we are unsure. With Nathaniel Klein at right back, it leaves a hole in the Palace defense, leaving them exposed. The signing of Aaron Wan-Bissaka would allow Crystal Palace to set up a defense that includes himself, who's 25, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's 25 years old, Tyreek Mitchell at 23 years old, Joachim Anderson being the oldest at 26 years old, Mark Guéhi at 22 years old, and Chris Richards at 22 years old. So obviously you would say Guéhi or Richards starting, and then Joachim Anderson being the mainstay in the center back position. Everton, Ben Burton Diaz. The Chilean international has become a proven talent in the championship and is ready to take that step up into the Premier League. He has shown that he has the ability to take that next step. The Toffees have been linked with him previously, but were unable to get a deal over the line. 13 contributions this season, and his contract expiring this summer. This deal is so simple for Everton. I don't want to say there's no way they mess this up, but this is a deal they need to get over the line. Fulham, Rick Karsdorp. After falling out with Jose Mourinho, Rick Karsdorp has yet to make an appearance for Roma. The player is going to be moved on in January for very, very cheap because he's not going to play for Roma again. Jose Mourinho's come out and said that clubs are, some of your smaller clubs, some of your teams below Roma, some of your teams, in other leagues are definitely looking at him. And I think this is exactly where Fulham come in. The player will be hungry to prove himself in a new team, with a new league, with a new manager, and it would fit perfectly as competition for Kenny Tete. A player with European experience and attacking ability from the right back is exactly what Fulham needs. Leeds United, Milos Kerkez. I wanted to suggest a center back for Leeds, but now realizing they had signed Waber from Salzburg. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce his name, so apologies there. Since this move has already happened and Leeds are not linked to many strikers, I've gone with the Hungarian left back, Milos Kerkez. The 19-year-old left back has already earned 4 caps for Hungary and has been a consistent starter in the Eredivisie. Leeds will have to act quickly, though, as Bournemouth and Leicester City have also been rumored to be interested. Leicester City, Dominik Livakovic. Danny Ward proved in the World Cup that he is abysmal. He has no business being a starting Premier League goalkeeper. Livakovic being linked with the move to Bayern Munich is obviously not a good look for Leicester's situation, but Leicester need to push for this deal to happen, guarantee him starting football, and let him use Leicester as a stepping stone. Let Leicester be what they are. They're a stepping stone club. They'll compete top half. Obviously, not this season, but future seasons they'll compete top half, and he will get that stepping stone move that he will desire. Put a release clause in your contract, and as for the rest of the team, assuming there's no departures, they have the potential to make a cup run this season if they get him in net. Liverpool, Moise Caicedo. Liverpool do not have the funds to make a big move come this January window for Jude Bellingham. The club up for sale and now signing Cody Gakpo. Nobody's going to sanction a 100+ million offer for Jude Bellingham. Moise Caicedo offers a young midfield option that has been proven in the Premier League. He offers a lot of intensity and energy that Liverpool's midfield are desperate for right now. And he leads Brighton in tackles per game with 2.9 and interceptions per game with 1.4 as of the time I wrote this. Manchester City, Jude Bellingham. Unlike Liverpool, Manchester City can afford this signing. It is very unlikely as City have a massive amount of depth and talent in their midfield, but if they were to sign a player in January, I think it should be Jude Bellingham. The young English midfielder has proven himself at the World Cup and will likely move to Real Madrid in the summer, but if there's a Premier League team that can afford him and should make this move, it's Manchester City. Manchester United, Marcus Thuram. Marcus Thuram is expected to leave Borussia Mönchengladbach this January, and it looks like a move they should make, but it looks like that Manchester United are going to end up going with Wout Weghorst on a loan deal. It seems like they don't have the money or the finances to put this deal across the line. The French striker has 13 goal involvements in 15 games for his club. It was even involved in the France World Cup squad where he picked up 2 assists in the knockout stage. Newcastle United, James Maddison. I wanted to put Christian Pulisic as my player for Newcastle since I want the USMNT star to make the move, but with no idea how serious his injury is, I had no choice but to go with James Maddison. Obviously, Graham Potter's come forward and said it's going to be a few weeks. That could be 2 weeks. It could be a month and a half for all I know, but Christian Pulisic is out. James Maddison is another player who may not pass his medical today, but the Englishman has been firing on all cylinders this season, registering 7 goals and 4 assists in just 13 games, and has been one of the worst Leicester City teams since they won the league. And then putting Maddison in the midfield with Bruno Guimaraes and adding another midfielder in the summer, Newcastle arguably could have the best midfield in the league come the beginning of next season. Nottingham Forest should not make a signing. Obviously, they've just put in a bid for Brazilian midfielder Danilo. I don't think they need it. They signed like 100 players. Stop looking. Loan out some of those guys that you have signed to get some minutes. And then I think, Danilo's playing a similar position to Paulinho. Paulinho's going to move on eventually, but, there's no need to continue to mess with your team, your cohesion, and the chemistry that you've built up over this season. Southampton, Chuba Akpom. With the signing of Miroslav Orsic over the line, I do not have a reason to pick him, so I decided to go with Chuba Akpom. The 27-year-old striker has 13 goals and an assist so far in the season, and would bolster the Saints' attacking options to keep them up. This may not be an easy deal as Middlesbrough are currently set in a playoff spot in the championship, but if Southampton can make it happen, they have to. Tottenham, Denzel Dumfries. He has played for Antonio Conte at Inter, and where he was a success at wingback at 26, he is not too old to be an investment. I know Conte is a short-term manager, so if it's one of those situations where he's here for 2-3 seasons and then Tottenham have to move him on, they can do that. And this will be the man Conte wants and needs in his team. Daniel Levy needs to make it happen if he wants Tottenham to be taken serious. The only other option I see here at right wing back that could potentially make the move to Tottenham and make a difference for them is Pedro Porro of Sporting. I think he would be an excellent signing for them, but I'm not sure if Sporting will want to part ways with Pedro Porro as they enter the Europa League knockout stage. West Ham, Terem Moffi. A player that I had not heard of until I was making this video. Terem Moffi has been on a lot of Premier League radars this January window. The Lorient striker has 10 goals in 16 Ligue 1 appearances and could be a striker of the future for West Ham as he is only 23 years old. Obviously, they just signed Gianluca Scamacca. I think that's his first name. Scamacca from Sampdoria, and could be looking, now that he's settled in, they may not be looking that direction anymore, but West Ham definitely need to make a move. I could see them making a move for a right back as well, and possibly someone to become a replacement for Declan Rice. But as I said, I'm not going to assume that Declan Rice is leaving in January. Wolverhampton, Felipe. The central defender has not had many minutes recorded this season with just 2 appearances for Atletico Madrid in La Liga. The 33-year-old will solidify and bring leadership to a shaky back line of Wolverhampton, and this would bring the reinforcements that they need. The Brazilian comes from one of the most defensive systems in world football and could also bring some ideas that will help the team stay up in the Premier League. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss another video. And if you did enjoy, of course, comment down below what you would like to see in the future. And I will see you guys soon with the next video. Peace.